Hey everyone, I wanted to show you guys how to use a cool new feature in the new quizzes tool. So in order to show you this, I'm actually going to start in my modules. So I'm already here in modules and I've been tinkering around with a few different things in my basic livestock nutrition module and looking at some things I want to do with my students. So this is my animal science class and I want to create a breed ID quiz. So I'm going to start first in by refreshing this because I made a few updates. And I want to do a breed ID quiz just like this one, but I want to do this one as a new quizzes. So I'm going to click on this plus sign button here because I'm going to add something. And the difference is new quizzes for now until they switch over later this year. Well, with COVID, maybe later, but you're going to start with a new assignment. Assignment you're going to end up using the quiz builder. And then you can name it whatever you want. So I can call this a breed ID quiz. And then I'm just going to do all just to remind myself. And I'm going to push the add button. And so it's going to be added here. Then I can click into the assignment. I'm going to click edit. I'm not going to worry too much about all this other stuff. I can, if I wanted to, I could say this is going to be 100 points. It's going to go into probably the assignment category like it already is. I want to show a letter grade for this one just because I can. You can do whatever you want. Display points, it all comes out the same in the wash. I'm going to do an external tool, and I'm going to find the quizzes to or new quizzes tool in my external tool bag right here. It says quizzes 2. Push select. And then I don't really have to do anything else right now. I could sync this to Aries. I could give it a due date. I'm not going to do that right now because I'm going to build something to use for a while. I'm going to push save, and then it's going to open me up in the quizzes builder. This is the new quizzes builder. Some of you might have already been experiencing this. It's also known as the Quiz 2 engine or the new quizzes engine, and it's a lot of fun. Now I'm going to show you how the item bank works in the new quizzes. In new quizzes, if you already have a quiz from before, you can migrate it into new quizzes, and then you can add each of those questions to the item bank, and these item banks travel. So I'm going to show you what the item bank looks like. So we can actually go to manage item banks, and each one of these, and I can share this entire item bank with anyone else on campus. If this item bank exists in a classroom that we're all sharing or a course shell, like a PLC shell, those all of those can be accessed by anyone in their class. So you can easily link a quiz to an item bank, unlike before where you had to put all of the questions in there in a random group. Now banks move, which is huge. And you can edit the bank here. So I'm not going to edit this one, but I'm going to go right into here, and I'm actually going to add some questions. So I'm going to go straight into the item bank, and it pops up like that. And we're doing some breed ID. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to use all of the breed ID I have, and I'm going to change it later to random. I'm going to select a certain amount of them I want to use, but I also want to cover the swine, all the pigs that we learned about. And then I also want to cover, where is it at? My goats. I'm going to add my goats right there. And, we need to probably go over probably a question or two about animals in society. And these are all questions from last year. And, I think I might want to pick a few of these myself. So I can pick, this one right here. And I will add that right over there. And then I can go, I'm going to pick this one right here. The theory of evolution, because we learned about that. And who regulates the Animal Welfare Act? We'll do that one right there. And I'm done. Now, on the questions that I pulled from the question bank here, see they're all grouped together. So it says the question bank has a little piggy right here. Questions 4 through 10. I'm going to click into this, and I'm going to say, you know what, I want it random. And I only want 5 questions pulled from there. And each of these questions will be worth 2 points. Done. And you'll see it'll modify that. So now it's questions 4 to 8 will be 5 questions that are going to be pulled from this goat breed ID that each be worth 2 points each. Now right here I have the swine one. I'm going to go random. They're going to be random. And I need 5 of those, 2 points each, done. And then I'm going to go here and do the same thing with the sheep breeds. They're going to be random. We do 5 of those, 2 points each, done. So I've written an entire quiz already. I'm going to check, make sure that's there. I can give some additional instructions, put a cool picture, put a video. This does have some limitations. This is the RCE for this quiz. This will be upgraded later on this year. But this one does have some limitations compared to the normal RCE we see everywhere else in Canvas. And like I said, this will be updated, but it's coming later. So if I wanted to add a video, a picture, I could upload that here. I could add a video or some audio. So if I was teaching band, maybe I want to put a video or some audio for the student to listen to, and then maybe I have a question or two about that. You can do many, many things with the new quiz builder. I'm just demonstrating the quiz banks and how to make a quick quiz once I have quiz bank. So that's that. Now I can, once I'm done with my quiz, I can actually preview this. Once I click out of the edit, and you can just click anywhere that's not on this like white piece of paper, as it were, to do that. If I wanted to change the name of this quiz, I do that. Now the next thing I can do is I can change the settings, so I can shuffle the questions, or I could not. I could shuffle the answers, or I could not. So I'm going to shuffle the questions. I'm going to shuffle the answers. I want them to answer one at a time. That way they're paying very close attention. There's not a lot of distractors. They're seeing the question and the images I have and the possible answers or distractors. For math people, you can allow a specific kind of calculator on a quiz. It can be a basic or a scientific. You can add a time limit. I add, when I allow multiple attempts on assignments, I do take the highest score. I do allow unlimited attempts or a certain number of attempts, but I require time between them. So I can give them a day, an hour, a minute. Normally I do 30 minutes because I want them to go away. And if I do 30 minutes, they won't come back till the next day. They'll have studied a little bit. That's the hope, right? And then you can actually restrict very specific views. So you can show them the points awarded, show them the points possible, show the item questions. You can show student responses. You can indicate which ones are correct or incorrect. I don't do that if I leave it as an unlimited submission. They should be going back to the study materials to get that information. Some quizzes, you can even leave really detailed item feedback, super important. Like in math, I know I saw some teachers from Shafter, they were actually putting YouTube video links or Canvas video links or Google video links so that students could see, like if they got the question wrong, the feedback said, hey, you got it wrong, here's how to do this correctly. And again, that's all auto, so it's automatically helping that student become better. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to show the student response because we do have reports, and if you attach outcomes or standards, then you will be able to see those come out too. And then you do have some moderation. You can see which kids took it, how long they took it. You can add accommodations. Accommodations, you can give additional time. You can remove a time altogether. So that means the student can have forever, or you can have a time multiplier. So on a student's IEP, if it's every time they take a quiz, they get 2 times the time, you can do that with the multiplier. They get time and a half. You can do that. Time and a half is 1.5. Save. And there's a lot of other things. You can actually click on moderate, and it will show you a list of everything they've done if they left the testing environment and came back. So oftentimes during a final, I'll use this to see if a student is leaving the page and going somewhere else. But that's new quizzes. When I want to launch this for students, before I do, I always preview. And preview does take a minute. So I'm going to pause myself while the preview, oh, never mind. It loaded real fast. So in preview mode, when you have it as one question, students are presented one question at a time. If you have directions, it'll show the title and directions first, and then the student will click next. And then they would go next, 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 all the way through the quiz until they have finished whatever they quiz. If they have, I'm going to come back to this one later. They can pin it and come back to this one later. The pin feature, last time I used it with my students to see if it worked, it wasn't very good. But students can also skip next all the way through. And they can submit. And it says multiple questions have either not been answered or have invalid answers. Upon submission, you will not be able to. I submitted, I did them all wrong. It will automatically show the kids auto grading, and it will give them a nice report. It took you this long. This is how many, you got 1 out of 33 points possible. And then it will show them, depending upon what you allowed, there's a response not displayed. So you can't see what you did, which is great for cheating or making a kid go back and look at it later. But that's new quizzes, and it's awesome. And it looks just like an item in your normal Canvas thing, just like the old quizzes. But yeah, if you have more questions, feel free to ask.